Okay, there we go. Hello, welcome. I'm Dean. Thanks for stopping in and hanging out with me today. We're going to do some drawing. This is my first time streaming this kind of thing, well, we do some airbrushing or have done a little bit, but doing some tips and tricks in drawing. So please pardon if everything don't go smoothly. All right. Well, I do have a couple of things I'd like to draw, and I would like to show some beginning tips on drawing that will help in case you wanted to draw something like what I'm getting ready to do today. So let's go ahead and talk about a couple of things before we get started. If you're a beginning artist, don't expect to draw, immensely awesome, excuse me, artwork immediately. I've been airbrushing and drawing since I was 19. I'm 60, 40 years. Oh my God, am I that old really already? I'm still learning. You will learn art your entire life. So let's start off with some basics. The first thing I'd like to talk about is hand movement. Okay. Most people, and I'm sorry I don't have a camera down. I should have set one up for that. But most people, draw with their hand like this. I'm not saying don't do that kind of stuff, but there's a time and a place for it. Generally, what you want to do is you want to draw from the arm. So in other words, you're flowing like this with your arm back and forth. See how smooth that can be? Plus you have a pivot point, your elbow. And, like later on in my life, when I started doing art and airbrushing, I started doing a lot of hand lettering. And that took an immense amount of work because I didn't paint or draw from the elbow. I drew from the wrist. So when I was trying to draw lettering, all I could get was what the wrist stroke would give me. It took me a long time to realize that I had to paint from the elbow or draw from the elbow. And that leads up to the next thing, and that's going to be how you grip the item that you're drawing or painting with. Most people get a pretty good grip on it. And they're over there just going to town, and that really locks you up, and it doesn't free you into making the strokes or the lines that you're looking about making. What I try to do for little practice deals is I'll grab the end of the pencil and then I'll just drag it across the screen, across my artwork or what I'm doing. If I'm sketching something or on my little art tablet here. And what I'm doing is I'm just basically letting the pencil or the tip set on the paper. How can I put this here where you can see it? Not very good. And then I'm just kind of dragging it across there. I'm letting the weight of the pencil or the item that I'm painting with do it. This is really important if you're doing hand lettering, because how much you press down on the brush will determine how much fan width, let's see if I can do it like that, the fan width of the bristles. So if you're just barely touching like this, it'll drag across fine. But if you put it all the way down, then the bristles fan out and it just creates a completely different line. So, pressure, whether you're drawing on a tablet or in real life on paper and pen, really makes a difference. Thank you, Tyree. I appreciate it. What's going on? But anyways, that's the next thing. When you're sketching, you should just have a light hand and just be moving freely, making just, longer than maybe normal strokes. It's a sketch. It's not your final picture. Therefore, you can go back after you get what you like and straighten it up and refine it. Excuse me. And, make it a little better as you go. Just the beginning part is a sketch. All right. Now, that also brings to another point is how do you hold it? Do you hold it like this? Do you hold it like a writing pencil? Do you hold, is there a certain way to hold it? Not really. I actually use several different ways. I mean, I might be wanting to do something where I'm straight up and down, and so I have my hand like this, and so I'll hold it where I can draw a line. So in other words, I'm not trying to make a line or draw a line. I'm using the skid to go across. See how you can draw a line more straighter by doing that? And that also goes back to the arm pivot. If you're trying to draw a straight line, you can draw a straighter one with the arm pivot. It's like the fulcrum, I used to use a chalk line quite a bit. When I was doing stuff, I'd have a center point and I'd run my chalk line out and I'd put my pencil in it or my marker, and then I could make curves and circles. And it's the same thing with your arm. So once you get a few good habits down of how to move and hold your hand and stuff like that, it will make it easier when you're drawing on paper or a certain surface. And I'm sorry, my camera keeps going, what the hell, out of focus. Give me a second to is it this one? Let me see if I can't fix that. I thought I took the autofocus off and we want it on 33. Apply. Okay. Sorry about that. That is better. Okay, we took the autofocus off. I thought I did. I don't. Okay, well, anyways, this is what you get when you come and watch my show, okay? All right, now that we've talked about that, let's go ahead and jump over to the drawing paper and let's, start doing some sketching. And let's see here. I think all I have to, you know what? I want to watch on the stream as well on my other console. So I can see how everything's looking too. Okay. Oh, we got a commercial right off the bat. Is that what you guys see every time you join, is a commercial? Breaking Bad. They filmed that here in New Mexico. Okay, now it's tangerine stuff. All right. Well, anyways, let's jump over and start drawing, everyone. Okay, well, hopefully we can see the screen and we can see me a little bit. We'll see here in a second when it pops in. Sorry. Okay, yeah, you can hear me. I just want to make sure everything's going. Okay, why are you not seeing the deal? Is it because I got the wrong camera off? I think I have the wrong camera off. So let's switch over to the right one. There we go. Yeah. All right, put my glove on. The glove allows me to slide across the top of the drawing tablet a little easier. So I wished I would have set up a down camera and put it on the other side over there. I'll do that next time. So anyways, we've got our paper. Let's start with one of the most simplest designs that you can do, and that is a line. Now remember, we're not going to use our wrist. Now, you can use your wrist if you're doing something small, but I'm going to use my actual arm, and then I'm going to just make some strokes here. And I'm just going to, use my arm, barely drag across, and we're just going to do some light little strokes. And, this gets you practicing in moving in a straighter line. And if you notice, none of the lines are perfectly straight. We can make them straight later. This is a sketch. So, just practice making these longer lines, maybe making some shorter ones where you're just dragging them out. This might take just the wrist. This small here, you might be just using the wrist, not really the whole arm. Do some longer ones, mid-length ones, and try to start at the same spot and end at the same spot. So in other words, just try to go out and just try to end. And just because I'm on a tablet doesn't mean this works any different than if you're on paper. And then now when we're doing airbrushing, we call these rat tails because they look like a rat's tail. Well, they're thick in one spot and thin in another. All right. Now, once you've got it in one direction, practice it in a different direction. How about like a T? So start off and move your arm. Now, sometimes if you have to make it a little easier, you could spin your paper. And then you have it in another, way to make it straighter. But what we're doing is we're trying to practice or train ourselves to move our arms and our hands in the right direction. So let's maybe go straight across. And that's not real straight across, but that's the point of this. It's a sketch. It's not defined drawing. Because now, when I started first drawing, I did draw like that because I had no schooling. I had nobody to teach me. I had to learn on my own how to do this. So when I saw a picture, I would sit down there and I would just start drawing, whatever it was, just right straight out. And then, trying to get it. What I was getting was artwork that was not centered. So, I'd start drawing something like maybe I'd be doing a face and then I'd do the arm and then here and then the body and then a leg, and I'm drawing it all the way out. I do have actually a video on the channel that shows me drawing a picture of a trapper on a horse with a pack horse, and I'm starting on one side and drawing the whole picture as I go across. And you can see an immense amount of problems with it. The head is too big for the trapper's body. Things are a little bit off-centered. That's not proportional. And that's what you get when you draw like that. You can, very few people can just start drawing a picture outright. Most of the time, it just doesn't look good. And that's why we use references as well. Alrighty, let's I used to have it where I could just make the size of it any way I want. I guess I could have went right there and made it. There we go. All right, let's go back to the pencil. Now that we've worked with lines a little bit, let's work with some circles. Now, most people, say you can't draw a perfect circle. Well, I kind of disagree. I think you can draw a perfect circle, not every time, but if you've got your hands working in the right motion, I think you can. Now, for this, I'm actually going to be using my whole arm to do it. I'm not going to use my wrist to try to draw the circle. Once again, I wished I would have put a camera going down. So keep that in mind. If you're trying to draw along with me, I'm moving my whole arm, not just my wrist like this, okay? So I'm going to start up here, and I'm just going to start drawing circles. And I'm just going to draw them over, and I don't care if they touch or not. Right now, I'm just trying to, get the feel of the circle. And as you can see, I'm even leaving the paper once in a while. That means I'm not pressing very hard when I'm drawing. So if you're just barely touching the paper, now it's a little darker on my screen, and I did that on purpose. You know what? Why are you not seeing... Okay, why are we not seeing the drawing tablet here? Have we not been seeing the drawing tablet the whole time? Let me go back to there's no drawing, Bones. Okay, thanks, Tyree. Hold on a second. Let me find out why. Cam artwork. Okay, that's probably why right there, because I didn't have it actually on. I'm sorry, guys. That's why I say. And also, I can't see. Plus, I can't see the chat. Because I don't know how to do my double screens thing on my computer. I haven't figured it out yet. So let me see if on Xbox I can pop the chat up. I don't know if I can. Let's see, chat, live chat. Okay, let's see. Yeah, this is awesome. Okay, let's see if we can catch up. All right, let's see if we can do this a little better this time. I do apologize, guys. Sorry. Why am I loading now? All right, let me reload the damn stream again on there. All right, this time let's try it again differently. Once again, guys, I can't see your text if you're texting. Now, please text, but until I go to this mode where I'm on the camera, I can't see any kind of comments that you guys are making. So I'm going to wait till this commercial that I'm watching is over with. Nice. Way to burn up 27 minutes of everybody's life. Okay. All right, let's try this again here. See if, oops. Okay. There we go. All right, now we got it. Okay. Well, let me erase. All right, I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Let's erase this. Let's start over. Let's see if we can, maybe make this a little bit better of a video or a stream. All right, let's start with the beginning, okay? The way that I hold the pencil, is light and loose, or sketching. Now, you can hold it different ways. Like I said, sometimes I hold it different ways and skin across, something so I can get a certain kind of line or whatever. But that doesn't really matter. What matters is you don't want to just throttle the crap out of the pencil, okay? Hold it loose, be free, let your wrist, let your arm be free. And that takes us to the next part. Don't just draw with your wrist. Use your whole arm. If you're sketching, you can make longer strokes. You can do a lot more with a loose arm than you can being all tight and trying to draw the line. Just let it excuse me, just let it happen. All right, another thing is, like I was talking about, is the wrist. Some things require the wrist, but not everything. Work with the elbow. Use it as a pivot point to draw, and you'll find yourself making smoother, straighter lines by doing that. Now, don't just hover above the artwork. Use, your palm or this part of your hand to glide across the surface. Just glide, so that way you're not going up and down like this as you're moving across. But by doing this, you can get just really nice longer lines. And that's what I was showing before I saw that it was all messed up. Okay, so I'm going to start here and just make these long lines. And I'm doing that by moving my arm like this. I'm not moving my wrist. I'm moving the arm like that. And once again, I wished I would have done a camera pointing down so that way you could see what my hand is doing. But I'm just using my whole arm, and I'm just making these long strokes. And I'm doing it on basically a 45-degree angle. By doing it like this, it's the natural movement or the way your arm would move. You can try doing it straight up, doing the same thing. I'm moving my whole arm like this when I'm doing that. Straight up. Switch it and come down. Straight down. Draw both ways. Don't never just always draw one way, like from here to there. Draw from here to there. Let's do that with the first 45 line. Starting at the top up here, we'll just draw down on the 45. Let's draw down and up, down and up. So these will help you free up the movement of your body, of your arm, of your hand. I think a lot of people try too hard to draw. And when you're sketching, which is the beginning part of drawing, you want to be free, you want to be loose. Now, my lines look very heavy and dark. But if you notice, I'm just, look how it's just barely, I've got it dark so that you guys on the screen can see it easier. But you can see that it just barely takes very little pressure to make a mark on your paper. This is easy to erase. These are easy to change and modify. If you've been very dark and heavy, then that's going to be hard to erase. Your paper's got imprints and impressions in it where your pencil crushed the paper, basically. So just keep that in mind, that all of these little things like this are for sketching. Okay, so let's just go ahead and take this all up. Let's go back to our pencil. Now, also another thing, like I was saying, if you're wanting to draw something sideways, you could just spin your paper and then you could draw your line sideways however you want. That does make it easier. But what we're trying to do here is we're trying to learn how to flow and move our hand and our arm. So we're just going to go ahead and leave our paper straight, and we're going to use our arm to help us make the lines. Then it doesn't matter if they're perfectly straight. It matters that you're flowing and you're just letting your hand glide across and making the line. It's sketching, once again. Do it on the reverse 45. Do it down, from the top down. These movements are unnatural. In other words, your your body is not used to moving like this. And this is what trains you, or doesn't really train you, it just loosens you up to be able to move like that a little bit. Try it the opposite way. Try starting at the bottom and drawing up. This is extremely difficult to do. But if you're just using your arm, you can make them not look too bad. And now you, once again, draw in both directions. Draw up, draw back, draw up, draw back. And if you notice, look how most of my lines are starting and stopping in the same spot. I don't have one line up there, one line here, one line there, you know, so try to practice that as well. And another flipping commercial. I hope you guys don't see commercials like this. I'll have to fix that. All right, so anyways, these are all just little drills that you can use to help free you up for sketching, okay? Since we've drawn quite a few lines now, let's work with circles. Circles are difficult. It is very hard to just draw a perfect circle. Can be done, but it's very difficult. And if you notice, I went around several times to try to fix the lines that I was making. The reason is because I was drawing like this. When you draw like this for a circle, it's extremely hard. The reason is because one part of it is this, and then this, and then this. And see how I automatically went to here to go that way? That's because I've learned over my career that I can go like this, and then I can go this way, and then this way, and I can achieve a better circle. Even though it's not perfect, I can achieve a better circle just by drawing it in quarter pieces. But that's with the wrist. What I like to do when I'm drawing circles is use the whole arm again. So let's try that. Let's just move the whole hand, the whole arm, the whole hand. I'm going like this in circles, okay? So I'll draw another circle, draw another circle. And if you notice, even look how sometimes the pen isn't even touching the canvas. There's not even a complete circle there. It's just, or it's like there's a break in it where I was drawing. That's because I'm not pressing hard drawing my circle like this. I'm using very light pressure, and I'm using my whole entire arm to do this. And I'm just drawing it over. And as you can see, my circles are not perfect. We're not looking for perfect. We're looking for muscle memory, I guess you could call it, to just be able to make the same movements over and over. Okay, now that I drew them counterclockwise, draw them clockwise now. So now I'm drawing them clockwise. I don't know if you guys noticed those first ones I was drawing counterclockwise. Let's go clockwise with a couple of rows. And as you can see, and notice if you're doing this, that one direction is easier than the other direction. Believe it or not, just doing it one direction will be easier than another direction. Could be different for me, could be different for you. For me, the counterclockwise is easier. I'm pushing away and starting the circle. For you, it might be easier to do it clockwise. Okay? Now, once you've done this, now try to draw one circle and connect the ends. So in other words, on counterclockwise, we're going to draw one circle and try to connect. So we're not going to try to overlap. We're going to just try to connect them. And we're not going to fix it. We're just going to connect. Okay. Now let's do it counterclockwise. And if you notice, mine are not perfect. Mine are not every time exactly the way it's supposed to be, and neither will yours. The only way that it's going to be perfect is if you use something, sorry, my brass knuckles, if you use something as a pattern, and I don't know if it's a smart idea to do that. Oh, look at that. It won't. Okay, I guess it won't draw if the, oh, anyways, it won't draw with my brass knuckles on there. Okay, this is a circle, but it's pretty big. Anyways, these are drills. These are things that you do to loosen you up. Just like when you're going to exercise, you got to warm up. You got to loosen up. When you're drawing, you should do this as well. Let me show you something that I like to do. And this is not just for a warm up. This is just fun. Okay? Take your pencil, take a blank piece of paper, and just start just randomly in all different directions, however you want. Just do this. And just sit there and just make these little lines all over the paper like this. Now, can we pick out a picture? Can we see a picture in this mess? Look at it for a second. Let it visualize in your head. What you guys will see will be completely different than what I see. I could see 5 or 6 different things if I wanted to here. First of all, let me just go ahead and pick out something and you'll see what I mean. And I'm sure there is something completely different in your head than what's in mine. Right here, if we notice, I've got a little bit of a face or a jawline. Maybe his hair. See what I'm saying? See, I've just made a face out of all of this. Maybe right here, look, maybe we got a thumb. Oops. You know, or maybe it's a flower, or maybe, you know, whatever. That's the point I'm getting at, is take and do something and see if you can make a picture out of it. This is a great imagination drill. If you're struggling with trying to draw something or you don't know what to draw, try this. And then just let your imagination go. This is like looking at a cloud and seeing a design or a picture in a cloud. Okay? Let's see if I can picture something out over here. Okay, maybe some smoke right here where this one was at. Let's see down here. Let's see. Okay, maybe we got us another face right here. You know, this is the thing. Us humans have an easy way to pick faces out of designs. For whatever reason, it's part of our nature. I don't know why. I don't understand why, but for some reason, we have an easy time picking faces out of a design. And it's not just human faces. This could be animal faces, whatever, creatures, you know. And so we really do have a great way to take and visualize something in chaos. So, okay. That's a great little tip and drawing deal for you guys there. All right, now let's talk about let's talk about the very basics of shapes. Now, as we all know, the basic shapes are squares. Let's draw a little square right here. Triangle. And of course, circle. Now, you could put another one in there as well, and that would be the rectangle. But I always say the rectangle is just a modified version of the square, which is what it is. It's just stretched out one way or the other. These are basically the four main shapes that everything is, I don't know, quit messing with them, Bones. You're not making them any better. You're making them worse. Okay, these are basically the four main shapes of everything. They're just going to be modified. So when I'm trying to show people how to draw and stuff, what I do is I want them to draw squares. I love squares. Squares help you with your movement arms. Triangles help you with the whole movement of your arm. Circles help you with the movement of your arm. Everything needs to be kind of free. When you're drawing a square, you want to be able to, and I wish you could see my hand. I'm not doing this. I'm doing this with my arm, okay? So when I'm drawing a square, I'm just moving my arm. Triangles, same thing. I'm just moving my arm. Circles, remember, we already did the circle. We're just spinning around. And then for the rectangle, same thing as the square. All right, now, when I say everything is made from this, I mean pretty much everything. But we have to understand, what I've done here is I've drawn in 2 dimension. We need to draw in 3 dimension. Once we draw in 3 dimension, we can actually start seeing depth of whatever it is that we're trying to draw. And depth shading really is, I believe, 100% realism. When you can see the depth and the shading of an object, it gives you realism, or the impression of that item, and how realistic it looks. So let's start with the square, okay? Now, when you're drawing a square and you're going to do it in dimensions, you have to work with vanishing points. Now, we'll talk about vanishing points a little bit here, but this is not a vanishing points tutorial. We're just going to use it to get the basic ideas of how to manipulate a shape, okay? So when normally you're going to draw a 3D square, we're going to draw one square like this. And then it depends on if you want it above or below. We're just going to draw another square. So let's go with below. We're going to start about right here, and we're going to... Now I'm using my wrist on this one. I'll tell you when I'm using my wrist and when I'm using my arm. I'm using my wrist a little bit because I want to feel about the distances. See, like here to there, I want that to be about to there, okay? And then out here like this, we're going to come out about this far right here, out, and then we're going to come down, okay? And then we'll just connect our lines across the top. This one here, I am using the whole arm, and we've basically mimicked 2 squares. Now, this square that we just drew now is bigger than the other square we first drew, this one, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the smaller square as our back, or our farthest away point, okay? So let's connect our lines together here. We're going to connect them here, here, and then we'll just kind of lightly do one there. And as a matter of fact, we will, shoots, that's way too big. I want it big, but we got to go small. We got to go small for this. Okay, let's, And we'll erase that percentage of it out. Okay, perfect. Now what we have is a square that looks like a cube. It's 3 dimensions. We can see the side, the top, and the front. And that's what gives us 3 dimensions. Now, most times when I tell people, hey, draw me a cube, most people, beginning artists, draw the cube where it's perfectly square. So this square is exactly the same size as this square, and so on. But when I see somebody go like this, and then go like this, and go like this, and then they start sketching some lines like this, and then they draw in their square, then I start seeing something that shows dimension, shows vanishing points. Okay? So this actually shows somebody here. I'll tell you what, let's do this. And I'm using my arm for this. I'm not using my wrist. Let's draw that down. Let's draw that up. We're going to draw in here like this. Or actually, I'm doing that wrong. Yeah, let's erase all this out. Okay, anyways, when I see this one would come down to there. See this line right here? This line right here would go up there. These are all places that this box would be in, because now it's in the 3-dimensional shape. But it's, you know what, let's draw this one a little bit better. Or let's do this one differently than what I just did. I just did that quick without no points. What we wanted, when you're drawing vanishing points, let's talk about this. You can have 1, 2, 20, 50, 5 million. You can have as many vanishing points as you want. Okay? So I guess before we continue, what we should do is talk about what a vanishing point is. Okay? Let's just do one vanishing point. And it's super, super simple. We're just going to put 1 dot right there. That's our vanishing point. What that means is the image is beyond what our eyes can see. It's vanished. It's gone. That's the vanishing point. Okay? So now if we draw 1 line this way and 1 line this way, we can turn this into a couple of different things. We could make this a road. Here's the little lines on the road, and they're going to get smaller and smaller, and now you can see our road just disappeared into the distance. It's a vanishing point for the particular road. Let's erase that out of there. Now let's do this. Let's put lines across here like this, and it's railroad tracks now. And that's what a vanishing point is. And you, like I said, you can set it up for 1 or however many vanishing points that you want to set up for, or whatever your picture is. Generally, if you're drawing like skyscrapers, buildings and stuff, you're going to have a bunch of vanishing points. But mainly you're going to have a horizon. You're going to have an upper, like in the distant, anyways. So you're, let's see, we would want to do this. So a building would let's see, let's draw to this one. A building would go to that vanishing point, but it would also go to this vanishing point here because that's the side of the building. Now we're going to draw down this way. And here's our other vanishing point. So now, and as you can see, these lines all match up with the vanishing points and everywhere that you're wanting to draw. And actually, this vanishing point should be right there and there. And anyways, you guys get the idea with the vanishing points. So when you're drawing with simple designs, you don't have to have a vanishing point, but it will make your pictures look more, or make your design look a little better. Let's do an example. I'm going to draw a little bit of a box, and I'm just using my arm for this again. We're going to do, let's see, let's go like this. Let's do this one kind of wide. Let's bring this one to here. Let's bring this one up. We're almost doing like a triangle. As you can see, triangle, triangle. But now we're going to put in a square. And now with this square, with this design here, we could draw some kind of a creature's face. Here's its eye. Maybe it's a bird. Let's see, a beak. You know, and this here is the basics of how to start setting up drawing for a specific shape that you might want to be applying to a design. And like I said earlier, everything that there is in life and creation and everything is a shape of these four basic shapes. Okay, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's start off, now that we've done a square, let's start off with a triangle, okay? Now, the basics of a triangle are a little bit different. It's still three-dimensional, but we're going to have to draw the triangle on a little bit of a vanishing point plane if we want to see it in 3D, in 3 dimensions. So we would have a vanishing point here, we would have one there, there, and all of these points would connect up. And now we have a 3D triangle. And you could even draw this where it's 3-sided. You would never see the third side, because see, right now, if you look at it this way, it's 4-sided. So the bottom is a square, and then this one. So you can see that this is a side, then out here is the side, and out here is the side. So just by knowing your different vanishing angles or the ways that lines can run, you can create the different shapes. Let's go with the circle. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's talk about the briefly the rectangle. The reason briefly is because it's exactly the same as a square. Okay, it's just shape is a little different. It's stretched out one way or another. So that's how basic we're going to talk about the rectangle. Okay, so let's go with the circle. The circle is by far I shouldn't say the funnest, but probably the most thing that you'll use in drawing stuff. So understanding depth of a circle is really important. So let's go ahead, let's just draw out a basic old little circle here, nothing perfect or whatever. Now, the only way to show 3 sides of a circle is to give another impression of an inner circle, like this. Another way is to do it this way. And you can see, okay, what did I do? Oh, I switched to the eraser. There we go. You can see now we're kind of starting to see a dimension of the circle. Now, shading would play a part to this. If you, let's say you had a light shining down in this direction, then you'd have shadow like this. And with the shadow, you could create dimension as well. But really what I want to work with is the circle. Here, let's try to draw a little bit better one here. Let's divide it in half, and we'll divide it in half going up and down. Now, by doing it like this, really, is there a commercial? I wonder if it cuts me out or if it just starts playing back where, and then you're like, oh, yeah, see, what it did now is it cut in. Okay. See, I didn't know the commercials worked like that. So we're back in real time. So you missed everything I said during that commercial. Or if you saw a commercial at the same time I did. All right. Anyways, let's do this. Let's clean our paper off. Let's get a whole fresh new paper. All right. Let's go ahead and start with a couple of circles. And these don't have to be perfect by no means, because by not being perfect, it'll help us understand depth of a circle. So let's just draw one like that. Let's draw one like this. Let's draw one like this. How about that? This one's more kind of circular. This is oblong, and this is the other way, oblong. Okay. All right, let's start with a basic line right through the center. Let's just try to figure out what center is. Now, same thing up and down. And it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just getting a reference point here. Let's do the same thing with our long circle this way, and this way. All right, now what we're doing is we're seeing these circles in like a one-dimensional look. We're just seeing the flat surface of it. So to help us see it in 3-dimension or in depth, we need to add these lines with a little bit of thickness or a little bit of, they're not straight. They're kind of like, they're going to touch kind of in the ends, but they're going to separate in the middle. Okay, so there we go. We separated that one. And now by doing this, it's kind of helping us see a little bit of depth, a little dimension to the circle. Even just doing it that much, it does literally look like it has some kind of depth to it. It's not perfect. It's not like a perfect, but you're seeing some depth there. Now, the more we increase this circle or this curve, the more depth we're going to see to it. So if we make these a little bit wider here, let's make this one really wide. Okay, let's do this one here. You guys, I know you're seeing that extra depth there. So this is how we work with curves, with circles, is when you're looking to make depth, there's always going to be that extra. When you're doing a circle and you're doing this, there'll be that extra curve to it. The more curve there is, the more you're showing the circle. Here, I'll tell you what, let's do this. Let's draw a circle and let's make this curve really big down here like this. And then this curve over here is really big this way. And now you can really see that the flatness of the circle and how it is. Now, this will work the same way. I use this a lot when I'm drawing characters or drawing cartoons and stuff like that. Well, even people, I'll use this. Like if I have an arm, so let's say I want to show the depth of an arm. I would start off with the small circle here, and then depending upon where, how foreshortening, I guess, foreshortening is this. See how close my hand is and how far away I am, whereas foreshortening is not. So, I'm drawing something that's more kind of on an angle like this. And then I can use these lines to help me understand the curve of my arm and what I'm doing. And then if I want to, you know, add on a hand, then I can, that's going to be the knuckles part of the hand. Let's see, let's draw a thumb. A thumb would be just basically out like that. And then I could draw my fingers, and I could draw these in tubes. I'm just going to draw 3 fingers. We got a 3-fingered hand here. It's my brother. It's my brother's hand. If he was on, he'd be laughing right now. Okay. And so on. So, you know, this is basically the way I would set up to draw something. It's all in these shapes: circles, curves, tubes, triangles. And the whole point of this was to show and try to get where the positions of my pieces are, so that I know the depth and feel the relation from what's in front to what's behind by doing this. So let's see, okay, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead, and we're into it an hour. Let's go ahead and do this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take the stuff that we've been learning here, and let's actually apply it to some artwork. Okay. The whole point of this entire stream is that I have a little logo I'd like to draw for a friend. So I actually need to go bring the picture in. Let's do that. Shit, do I remember how to do that? Import animation frames, add an image. Okay, I've got a Charlie Brown image that I'd like to well, let's see here. It's right here. This one. This one. All right, let's go ahead and bring in this one. Okay, now I got to make sure I'm on. I am. And shit, it's been so long since I used my tablet. I don't know if I can remember how to use my tablet. There we go. Control, no. Okay, so it's shift. All right, there we go. Now we could, you know, just go ahead and go back here. That's still not right. And I don't remember how to go back to my pen. Let's see. I think we have to click off of that. Now I don't remember how to get off my pen. Funny bones. Okay, anyways, we'll just leave that right there. We'll go back to our paint layer. Let's do this. Let's drop the opaque. We'll drop that down a little bit. Let's go back to, oh, actually we're on the pen now. Okay, maybe I am not on that one. Shoots. Now I don't know what I've done, guys. Sorry. All right, let's back up to there. Let's do that. And that. That. Okay, maybe I guess if we go with the pen, there we are. Okay. Sorry, guys. I don't use my or I haven't used my drawing tablet in quite a while. Uh, and the last time I was using it, I was actually animating with it, so I wasn't actually drawing. I was animating. So, anyways, it's a little different procedure there than the drawings part of it. All right, let's go ahead and bring back in the import animation. Uh, there we go. Open. Okay. All right. Let's just leave him up there. He's not in the way. Normally, this is what's nice about the drawing tablet is that you could trace and copy. You can make layers. You can do whatever. But I really don't want to do that. I want okay, what my friend's name of his business is Dirtbag Trucking. I think it's trucking. Dirt. Yeah, Dirtbag Trucking. That's it. Let's write that up here at the top. Okay, Dirtbag Trucking. So what I was kind of thinking was that let's see, what do I want? I want something kind of about right. What do we want? We want something about right there. How's that? Okay, looks good. Um, what I'm thinking is something like Pigpen. So I think what I would like is him either dragging a bag or pulling a wagon. I do have another picture of Charlie Brown pulling a wagon, so if we do use a wagon, we have a reference. Now, this picture is probably going to look a lot like Pigpen because I want it to be noticed when people see it. Now, I'm not trying to write in on the copyright law of it, and I am drawing it over again, but I am counting on people knowing that it's Pigpen. Not just some random bunch of scratches. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with drawing off his body. Okay. So now, if we take a look at this picture, and I guess we could zoom in here. Let's zoom into it, or zoom out. If we kind of notice, and I'm on my drawing layer here, so I can actually let's lighten this up a little bit. If you notice, or let's notice something here. Okay, let's take a look at the shape of his body. All right. Well, it looks like we might need to make that a little bit darker. Let's look at the shape of his body. There's kind of this curve to him. Okay. So we want to try to mimic that when we're drawing. We want to find this, you know, this curve that he's got right here. If you can kind of see that. My deal's underneath of it, so it's not as bright. There we go. We can kind of see it now. See how that curve is? So his body and everything is kind of flowing in this curve. So let's kind of work with that a little bit. And now we can let this go down to about there. Okay. Could be still a little bit. Okay, there we go. I want it to be, you know what, let's just go ahead and darken this up a little bit. I want it to be dark enough that you can see it. Can you see that? Let me see if it shows up on the screen here. Because the colors are definitely not the same. Okay, yeah, you guys can see that. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and draw my curve. Okay. And then we can just try to section off his body. I want his head to be about right here. I want his body to be about right here and his pants, and then I want his feet to be somewhere about there. So let's go ahead and draw in a circle, and we're just going to loosely go around. Okay. We're just going to loosely go like that. Let's draw in his body, and we're going to do kind of a triangle type shape. Square for that. His arm's going to be reaching. So we're going to make some lines going up that way. This arm over here is going to be bending. So we'll be doing that. And as you can see, I'm just sketching stuff in. I'm not hard line drawing anything in. Maybe for his knees, we want something like this. This leg here is going to bend the other way. So like this. And now we can kind of flatten it out here and draw some shoes. I think I'm going to do it this way. So one point this way, one point of his shoes this way, one point of his shoes that way. All right, see, already just by drawing a couple of circles, a couple of rectangles, and somewhat of a triangle, we've got us a cartoon character. And all we're doing with the Charlie Brown one is using it as a reference, okay? So what I would like to do is I would like to probably extend the circle of the head out. So I'm going to use my wrist in combination with my arm to do this, because I want to try to get this out there. Oh, probably about right there, someplace. All right, now we'll just go ahead and try to darken that in just a little bit, so that way we can kind of picture where we want our line. If it starts to get too much for you, go ahead and, get in there and erase some of this. And that's why we're drawing softly. Okay? We're drawing softly so that way we can erase if we want to. Now, normally what I would do is I would just sketch up. Well, this is a pretty simple picture. But normally what I would do if I was sketching a piece of artwork is I would do 3 or 4 sketches. So I'd have my main layout sketch, or where I want this here, that there, basic shapes, and then I would start refining it down. Once I got to a certain point, then I would actually start looking for references for detail. No matter who you are, what you are, You cannot remember the detail to everything. Even people in certain specific genres, let's say like automotive or automobile um, manufacturers, or people who draw, cannot remember everything to the vehicle, where what the grill is, what the headlights are, what the bumper looks like, there's just too much detail in real life to remember it all. That's why we use references. We're not copying it, we're just using it as a reference to help us remember a way that, you know, something looks, or a way that you want it to look. Excuse me. Okay, well, let's go ahead and continue from here. I'll tell you what. Let's start with the face. Okay. Now, normally, if I'm drawing a cartoon and I'm trying to come up with my own facial look or whatever, then, you know, I'm going to do a couple of things. First of all, I need to see, you know, the turn of that face. If you notice, Pigpen's face is not looking straight at you. It's a little turned and a little bit up. So we want to find those marks in the circle by doing that. So straight looking at us would be like this, but slightly turned. Remember our slight curve that we had? So now it looks slightly turned, and to make it look like it's slightly up, remember this would be well, actually now this would be the center, but he's looking slightly up. So we got to put a curve slightly up. So we're not straight by any means. We're slightly looking up. And now we can go ahead and draw our face on here if we want to. Let's put our nose on. Let's put an eye on there. Let's put an eye right here. Whoops, I think that one's a little saggy. He's Mr. Saggy Eye. Looking up. Yeah, let's see. Let's make our curve. Let's make the curve of our face match the curve, or the curve of our mouth match the curve of our face. If you notice, from here to there and from there to there, you can't draw your smile in straight. It won't match with the picture if you do that. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's give him a little bit of a neck right there. We'll give him a little bit of a t-shirt. Let's make this arm here. And it looks like Pigpen's arm's really pretty short. So let's actually, let's kind of make this on a longer. There we go. Let's do that. You know, I still don't know if I want, oh, here we are with the commercial. Let's wait a second for the commercial to get over. I don't know if it's the same for you guys or not, so. We can skip in 3, 2, 1. Let's skip. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. If you guys got the commercial, I did. Now, I'm still not for sure if I want him pulling a wagon or a bag. The more I think, I like the wagon idea, but the more I think about it, a bag with like a hole in it and it's been drug and you can see the dirt from behind, I think might be pretty cool too. But I was actually thinking a wagon, and the wagon would be, you know, like behind him on an angle going away. So I think what we'll do is we're going to draw our character just kind of loosely, and then we'll make some other pages and we'll draw the two different things and we'll see which way we like it. As a matter of fact, I'll probably send it to him too to see which way he might like it. So let's do, and we're going to leave that. Let's do this. Should we make, yeah, let's leave him with shorts. Shorts, I think, are fine. I'm going to slightly curve them a little bit. Go up that way. This one I'll bring down. I'll curve this one the other way. Like that. Okay, so this leg is curved that way. This leg is curved this way. I like the leg. The legs look good. So this knee, or this leg is more, the way that this one's looking over here is it's more facing us than it is sideways. So that means we're going to have to put the shoe a little tighter. Okay. So the shoe can go a little tighter. This one over here, the leg is more sideways. So here we can put the shoe more out like that. And I think this leg there, let's erase that a little bit. And that's why we sketch. Normally by this time, the first sketch that we had is what my first thing would be. Then I would be straightening it up. And I would be doing that on another piece of paper. But sometimes I'll use the same paper until I get it pretty tightened up, and then I'll get a new piece and then redraw the whole thing over on the new piece. So here we won't have such a, see over here we have a little bit sharper bend. Here we won't have such a sharp bend. There we go. And we might have to, we'll have to work on that a little bit. Let's see. Let's draw his sleeve around. And then let's just go ahead. I guess what we'll do is we'll just draw Charlie Brown fingers. Or try to. Let's see. Okay. Nice. Looks like he's waving there. Now, I'm not really for sure on this one here if we should do it like he's, you know, really the way this is, you could just like he's got his you know, his wrist on his side there. But I want it to more like be holding the bag or holding, or like the handle of the wagon, of the weapon. So, there we go. Let's see here. How would the hand be going if it was holding the bag? It would be going like, and I may have it too much. Okay. No, I don't like any of that. I'm trying to picture in my head how his hand would look holding. This is why references are good, because you can't always remember, but we can use the shapes to give us the basic idea of it. So let's give that a try. His hand is coming down. How do we want it? It's going to be like, see, it's going to be like a square. Yeah, see, it's going to be like a square like that. And then the back would go over like that, come around, and then too big. I think that's too big. Too big. Let's see. And it needs to be behind. Shrink that down. Gosh dang it. That's too much, Bones. Okay. Well, see, I'm thinking actually it might need to go like this, and then this just stretches out like that. Yeah, I think that might look a little bit better. Okay, let's give that a shot. We'll kind of make our bag look round with dirt. Like this, and this has got to come around over to here. There we go. All right, see, now that kind of looks a little more like a bag. And then these parts here will just be the part that's going like down, you know, where it's wrinkly. And we'll try to maybe make a little bit, try to give us a little bit of depth there, a little to try to feel that. I'm still not real happy with the hands right here. So let's do this. Let's erase that out right there. Let's go back to this. And you know, maybe I'm overthinking this just a little bit. Maybe this doesn't have to be so. We want it to curve over his body right there. I want it to kind of look like, you know, he's got the bag and he's, you know, pulled it up there a little bit. Okay, you know what? I think we need to do something completely different here. Um, I don't think that our guy is in the right position or to do the bag the way I'm trying to draw it. I don't think our guy is positioned correctly for that. And it's always going to kind of look, it could probably get it to work, but I think it'll look a little weird or might make it look weird. So let's do something else different. Let's do like, let's see, let's do his arm going like this. Let's do something like that. No. Okay, let's do. And maybe a third right there like that. All right, how does that look? Does that look a little better, everybody? I think that looks a lot better. What do you guys think? You think that looks yeah, I think that looks a little bit better. Maybe make that a little more rounder right there, like we did that one. Um, let's see. How about we do? I'm thinking a rip in the bag. I think a rip or something like a hole in the dirt pouring out like a little trail. I think will look cool. Let's do. Okay, I like that. I think that looks good. We want to make a little bit of a pile right here where he stopped and it's puddling up, but when we want to draw a little bit out there like that. Okay. I think I like it. Way more better. Way more better. Hand does look a little bit big. We may have to shrink. You know what? Let's shrink that down a little bit. Okay, I like the thumb, but I think we need to make these guys a little bit smaller. There we go. All right, good. See, we shrunk up his hand a little bit so it doesn't look like gargantua. um, Man, I know without a doubt that the bag would be more round over here when you're. I can't even explain how. Imagine this: you got a burlap bag full of sand, and you're pulling it. So when you pull it, it's going to lift all that sand up. When you quit, it's going to lay back down on that bag again. You know, so I think it needs to be way more rounder here. And maybe let's do this and let's go a little lower. There we go. And okay, let's do okay. Maybe a little less right there. Okay, what do you guys think? Oh, you know what? We didn't draw that on another. We didn't draw that on another skin. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's God. I forgot to make another layer over there to draw that on. Okay. There we go. All right. I think that looks pretty good. Now let's go ahead and do this, though. Shit. Man, I wish I could remember how my damn thing worked. I could take and make that on another layer, but I can't remember how. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Let's copy layer. Why didn't it copy the layer? Copy layer, duplicate layer. There we go. Duplicate layer. Okay. Okay, let's do this one. Okay, let's name this one main sketch. How the hell do you even spell it? I don't know how to spell sketch. Freezer burn or brain freeze or something. Okay, main sketch. We'll go with that. And now let's do main sketch. Main sketch with wagon. With the wagon. Okay, we'll turn off that one there. And now what we'll do is we will erase all of this. Okay. All right, now let's go ahead and try the wagon. But for that, let's do this. Let's pull in Animation frame. Image. Let's find the Charlie Brown image with the wagon. Okay, and should just be able to grab that. Okay, there we go. Well, it doesn't look like there's much to the wagon, so maybe we didn't even need that. Main sketch. Okay, let's make sure we go back to our main sketch. All right, let's do this. Let's kind of get us a vanishing point here. Okay, so let's start about right here, and let's just draw some lines going backwards. No, that's not. No. Okay, maybe let's see. Let's just try doing some sketching here and see. I'm not for sure how I want my horizon line to go. Okay, see, that looks a little bit better there. Okay, and then the pile of dirt. And then maybe pouring off the side, and then a little line of it going like that. I think that's good, but it needs to be over more. I think it needs to be more over here because I think we need to see the. Okay, let's do this. Let's make that the end of it. Let's put this over here. And then this would be like the middle. So we would have the handle coming up right there. Okay, let me erase this up a little bit so that way we can enjoy this commercial. All right. Well, I can't skip it yet. Tonight at 8 on CBS. It's probably a good thing we don't watch TV because that looks stupid. No, I don't. I didn't pay attention to what it was. Uh, okay, we can bring this up here like that. Let's see. The wagon, the wheels are like that. Okay, the back ones will have to be a little smaller. Okay. Now we can just connect those there, and that should give us a pretty good little real rear wheel look. Nice. All right, how about we do this? How about we make the sand pouring off right there? like that, and then we kind of put this little trail of dirt like that. Well, let's see. Actually, it's going to need to be. I want to try to follow the same line, see how this is, but it should be a little steeper. Like if we were up here, it would be lower going down like this. But since we're a little lower here, it should be a little steeper. So let's say that's our line. Yeah, see, our line should be more like this. Okay, let's see if that. There we go. Okay. And that turned out to not be too bad right there. I have to kind of put some lines in there, maybe something down like that to make it look like it's got a chassis or a frame underneath of it. And let's see, let's make that there. Let's erase out some of this stuff. Okay. And I think that looks pretty good. Okay, now let's see if we can draw his hand to be holding the, actually I think I like the wagon better than the bag. I think I'm liking, well, when I was thinking about this over the last couple of days, I really thought the bag was going to look better. Yeah, I think I like the wagon much better. All right. And I don't even think we even need the dirt out there that far, so I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, now let's see. The handle would split and go like this. So this would be the handle part here. And actually, I'm still drawing that incorrect too. If you notice, my lines are going like this, but our shaft is going like this. So what we need is our lines on the sides to match that as well. Okay, so let's go back. Let's redo this. See, there we go. And then we can draw that down. Get a little bit of depth or a little dimension into it. There we go. There, see, by aligning the lines up into the angles, we got a better look out of it by far. So now all we need to do is just put his hand on it. And if you were pulling it, I don't even know how it would go for sure. Let's see. I think it would go like this. Would be one, the pinky, the palm, and then the thumb. That don't look right either. So let's do Let's try and straighten this up a little bit here, and then we can see that a little bit better. Okay, there we go. Okay. And now we need to fix this arm right there. I think it would be more like that. All right, I think that looks good. Let's clean that up a little bit and let's see how that looks. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Think like well, when I go to redraw this better. Actually, I guess we could draw this a whole lot better. This is actually our sketch. So, what do you guys think? Do you guys think? Do you think the bag, or do you think the wagon? And I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Let's go back to. Let's go back to here. Oh, actually, that's the wrong one. Let's go there, and let's go here. Now I can. Now I can see you guys' comments. Okay. And then create parallel lines below the two horizontal lines, so and so on. You're right, Trunk. You know, this is the thing. There are a bazillion ways to draw. There really is. There's no wrong way. With a couple of right ideas and a couple of directions or things, pointing you in the right direction, you can really, do some nice stuff. Unfortunately, when I started drawing when I was younger, I got no schooling. So everything I did was from, trial and error. And it took many, many years to understand things and how it works and stuff. And I still don't know a ton of how it all works. So, but there are a lot of a lot of ways to draw and do stuff. The Y, the X is a good one. But what Trunk is saying with the Y is that helps you draw on axis. So you've got, if you take a Y and you turn it kind of sideways, you've got one angle this way, one angle another, and so it helps give you angles off the Y. So I can't draw worth a damn. I'm just here for support. Well, you know what? I believe everybody can draw. It's just how much time do you want to put into it? Do you want to spend the time and learn how to draw, or, and practice? Because it takes practice just like anything else. A lot of people don't. A lot of people want to just go ahead and want to be drawing Picasso. I'm the same way. Well, my favorite artist is Boris. and his wife Julie Bell. But to me, I mean, like, my God, how this guy shades that he paints in oil, and how he makes stuff look pretty realistic. Uh, Even in the 80s, you know, when I was starting to learn how to draw, he was doing amazing. But I have no idea how any of what he does. I mean, that's way beyond me. All of my stuff is, you know, what I learned to do and how I learned to do it. Hell, I'm still learning technical names of stuff, believe it or not, on a canvas. I just learned like 3 or 4 years ago that the primer you use for a canvas is called gesso. I can't tell you how many times I primed all my canvases with automotive primer, sealer, spray can or automotive. I'm painting something. I was like, oh, I got some canvas work to do. So I go spray all my canvases with it too, because I didn't like the way the canvas was porous. When I would airbrush on it, and it was hard, but I did it. It was hard to make fine detail because the canvas was so porous. But if I would seal it or prime it, then it was less porous. And man, I could really do some great stuff. So I, for years, thought I was doing something you really shouldn't do. But all my canvases look great. And I don't even know how old that canvas is there. My wife was alive when I painted it for her. She's gone 20, 25 years now. So, I mean, that canvas there is at least 30 years old. And I wipe them with wet rags. I mean, you see people in the curator deal over there with little cotton swabs, not me. I'm over there with a rag and soap, and I'm scrubbing the shit out of it. But it seems to hold up. So, whatever. Now, maybe in 10,000 years, it might not. But, okay. Anyways, let's get back to it. What do you guys think that you liked the best? Did you guys like the wagon, or did you like the bag, dragging the bag? What we're going to do is, let's see, it's 2:00. Yeah, I just wanted this to be about 2 hours long. So we're pretty much, I guess, at the end of this stream. I don't want it to go super long. And I did basically get what I wanted to get, the main layout. But I wanted to show everybody some simple stuff also to maybe get you interested in drawing. I'm sure that a lot of you guys are fond of the cocktails and sit there at the bar. You could draw on napkins. Well, I was never much of a heavy drinker, but my friends were, and they'd go to the bar. And they would just drink and drink and drink. And about 20 minutes after I'm there, I'm ready to go. So I would just sit there and draw on the cocktail napkins and give it to all the waitresses. And I can't tell you how many times I got lucky doing that too. So it's like, it wasn't a total waste, but yeah, I would draw like unicorn heads and roses. I don't know. I had like about, well, I guess I still do. I just don't draw them anymore. But I had about 12 to go to drawings that I could just whip out and look really good, like a unicorn's head, a rose. I don't know. There was a couple of things I can't remember. I think there was a frog, but there was a couple of just quick things I could whip out, to impress the girls, I guess you could say. Tyree likes the bag. Okay, all right. Anyways, I'm going to draw them up. I'm going to tighten them up a little bit better. I'll post the final sketches in Discord. But I'm going to draw them both up, and I'm going to let my friend choose which one he likes. But I'm also going to add lettering to it and a few other things. So probably what I'll do is have him probably have more. Well, I don't know. I'll probably do sketches because I don't want to draw them. Because when I get through with this design, I'll draw it and I'll format it where he can print it, silk screen it, embroidery it, make coffee mugs, make t-shirts. I mean, he can do whatever. He can go down to the newspaper and print prints in the newspaper, ads. He can get business cards. He'll be able to do everything off of the artwork that I'll send him. I'll send him all the formats for that too. So anyways, thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me. I'm going to be playing some Ark here shortly. So if you guys want to come and hang out in Ark, let me know in Discord and I'll maybe start up a stream for Ark. But thank you guys. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this stream. And if you did, you know what to do. Hit that like and do all that crazy stuff there. I'm sorry about the first 30 minutes not having it on screen. But I'll try to post on the video, skip that part, to everybody else. But everyone, thank you all. Take care, stay safe, and peace. Good night. Well, it's not night. Goodbye.